to the NXT Podcast, your home for weekly NXT reviews and insight.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
Find all of your NXT news, recaps, and analysis right here. So with that being said, we only have one question for you.
Are you ready?
We thought so. Let's get the show started right now.
All right, hello everyone. This is the NXT review show that everyone has been asking for, and we are going to provide this service. This is Memphis Mark coming to you from Mullet Manor, and we're going to go over this week's NXT show. So pretty much what you've got to start this series out is you've got an old guy reviewing new talent. Not so bad of an idea. 50 years around it. Let's figure out who's got a chance before they're 20 to 25. But anyway, we're going to jump right into this week's show. And it comes out with Zoe Stark coming back actually from a torn ACL and MCL that she suffered at Halloween Havoc. And she comes out and she does a great promo to start it out, man. She looks good. She's got the brace on, of course, to make everything look good. But, she was told she'd be out well over a year. And with today's technology, you got to look at, in some cases, that's actually true. A year, could be as low as 6 months, but, if you're not in shape, it could definitely be. So anyway, she comes out and she calls out Mandy Rose. And of course, before you're going to get any toxic attraction, you got to get Cora Jade. Cora Jade comes out and she pretty much is blaming Miss Stark of everything in the world. They get to try to get the promo set up. And in NXT, you have got every performer every week, trying to better themselves on promos, in-ring action, everything like that. So every week you watch NXT, these people are getting better. When they get a chance to get in-ring action on TV and review it, they're going back and dissecting it. So anyway, we go back to she calls out Mandy Rose. Cora Jade comes out. Of course, they get into their argument. And, here comes Mandy Rose. And she sets up a Gigi, was it Dolan? Yeah. It sets up a Gigi Zoe match for later on. All right, and then they go right into a Grayson Waller promo. And look, man, you can say what you want to about this guy, but he has the factor. I could see this guy, coming up in a few years, looking really good. So we'll see on that. But they do a good promo, and then, of course, they got to bring out the family, Tony D'Angelo. And he does a promo, and he's pretty much explaining to the guys, hey, that the last time they had to face this gentleman, they had to bleach his eyes, but he sees a lot cleaner. Look, the storyline they're going with on this, I have no problem with it. he seems to be fairly into it, and they can bring wrestlers in and out with this. So if somebody doesn't work and you're not the main guy in one of these groups, you know what happens to you? You know what happens to you? You're not on TV anymore. So they go into that promo, and pretty much the earlier promo with Grayson Waller was setting up a Wes Lee match, and man, they've thrown the book. They've almost Rey Mysterio'd him, where he's just a smaller guy, and they just keep throwing him up against giants, and he just can't quite ever seem to make that one victory or that one win. Grayson is going to be a long time guy. But I got to say, Wes Lee impresses me, because this guy has been thrown around by the humongous, I can't think of the gentleman's name off the top of my head, but the humongous Indian wrestler that they've got in, that they're training slowly, but he's got the mic. When he's got the stick in his hand, he is good. So, and I say good, not great, not fantastic, not awesome, but he's good. And he's so damn big. But anyway, the Grayson promo was great leading up to this, and Wes, they both do it great. Man, it's hard to talk bad about either one of these guys in this match. I mean, they were both given spots to deliver, and I think they both delivered. The match carried on for a good 5 to 7 minutes, maybe. I did not clock it or anything like that, but man, these guys were just tearing it up. And there were some fantastic moves. And Grayson, you as I said earlier, you can say what you want to say about him, but the guy gets under your skin. Wow, isn't that what he's supposed to do? Wes is a great wrestler, and I think he will find his spot, but I guess he's doing good enough that they're building another storyline for him. Because they had, Trick Willie? They had Trick Willie come in and slip a dime on the back of his head and knock the man out. So he gives Grayson Waller the victory, of course, and Grayson can do good with that, because he'll take that and use it in his promos, and he'll tear it up with that. But Trick Willie, I liked everything that they did, but I did not like the fact that he had the gloves and the way he hit him like that. It just didn't look too good. Now, after the match, him standing above him, he's got the rings, he's doing his poses, that's all good. But the actual hit, okay. But then they go into Joe Gracie, Bray wannabe. And he introduces, where he tells the young lady interviewing him to go ahead and call them by their names. It's Rip and Jagger. And he does a good, this would be a great promo, and it's a good promo, but it would be a great look for him, or a character for him, if there wasn't a Bray Wyatt out there. Now, if they could combine the young man, Edge, Bray, that sounds interesting. That's a pot of gumbo right there. You got a roux and your basic ingredients right there. But all right, so they pretty much say that Cameron Grimes, look, man, we can help you. I can be your daddy figure. I can be your daddy. Okay, never mind. Can't sing. But you've got to. Wait a minute, that just threw me off. That I actually tried to sing. That was terrible. But after the interview, they go straight into Apollo Crews doing his gangster walk down to the ring. Well, not I would say more of his traditional. Man, who was that? Not Batista, but he has a. I can't think of who that wrestler, but he has a little bit of another guy that walked down to the ring, and maybe not Orton in his younger years. But anyway, they're bringing out Apollo to go to commercial so they can bring in Zion Quinn. Now, Zion Quinn, he has the look. He has the tatted body. He's tan. He's a good-looking young man. He has the moves. His timing seems to be pretty good. So you've got something to work with, for sure, with him. But, I thought it was, the match was absolutely, fantastic. I think Apollo's still got a little bit of rust on him, because when you're going down there and you're just working guys, you're only doing moves and watching. You're doing a lot of watching. And so, that's the biggest thing I saw in that. But the match actually itself was good. Right towards the end, I would say they got a hair bit sloppy, but nothing bad at all. I mean, this is a teaching show, and I thought they both did good. And this time, Apollo will be doing most of the teaching in the future, but he's got to get back into the swing of things too. So they go from that to. They go from I would say a 3-star match to a promo with Toxic again, and they're going into the Gigi Dolan Zoe Stark match. So they're Toxic Attraction has really had a hold on the women's division, and actually the time on TV, so they have to be selling the merchandise and doing a good job, or they would not be getting this amount of time. Now, Mandy has progressed from what she was in WWE to now. She has taken her craft and she's learned it, and she's applying it to her day-to-day thing. Even when she's scooting to get out under the ring with the belt and got a short skirt on, everything, she swings the legs out so she doesn't look, wardrobe malfunction or anything like that. She looks scared. She gives a chance to get the girls to set up for a good camera shot. She's perfected, perfecting her craft very well. So, but we go from that. Yeah, you go straight into Is it JD? I believe it is. Let me see here. I have to check this because Mullet Manor's Bluetooth capability is down at the moment because there's a chance of storms, and it's been so freaking hot and dry that we didn't even get a storm, but it's some lightning hit and it scared the hell out of everything around, and they all puckered up, and Bluetooth went out, internet went out for just a short period, but it is back up and we're going from there. But yeah, they go to a spot in the show. This is what I was going to try to do. I was going to try to do things a little different. I've got the notes and I've got all that, but I want to try to pull up some of the show and have it going along while I'm doing the notes and trying to talk to you. So if you're sitting somewhere and you can't get the show, I want to try to give you the best way to do it, but to explain it, that is. But yeah, the car arrives, and then you have JD McDowell, but he young gentleman that is new to the NXT roster, but he is apparently not new to wrestling. Was very on time. Did a great spot coming out of the crowd, walking around and introducing himself to everyone. You know, he goes up to what was it? He goes up to a fan and says, you know, pretty much, screw up one time with that popcorn, man, and you could choke. You know, like some guy a little out of shape over eating some popcorn, and a guy in shape comes up with a microphone and says, hey dude, you could die off that popcorn. Then he goes up to the timekeeper and explains to him about you could take that hammer, hit the hand, dislocate a finger, bam. Goes over to, he does the ring announcer, tells her she has a good voice, and then goes over to Wade Barrett. Tells him he's still pretty much good looking, but his hands from the bare knuckle fighting could cause calluses, and it could cause him to possibly be manipulated with that wrist. Then he goes over to, Vic Joseph, and tells him he didn't like the way he talked about him last week, and he's probably had a lot of broken bones when he was younger. Just to give him a little howdy do, just saying hello. But then he calls out Braun Breaker, and of course Braun Breaker's going to come right down. He just happened to be standing right there behind the curtains, but his music hits immediately, and he comes down, and they say howdy to each other. You know, and they have had to have worked together in the past because they had some chemistry. Or they both could be that talented, but I would think that they have maybe worked together, and they probably are both that talented. But they go back and forth a little bit, and Braun gives JD the chance to do a headbutt, and then Braun does one back, but you see JD come up, and he's got the blood. But if you go back and look at it, man, he didn't hit his mouth. So that means the blood started when he went down and covered his mouth up and put something in his mouth. Okay, but the fake blood, besides the fake blood, good promo, good, I thought, they're still in training. You can't expect perfection, but man, I thought it was pretty damn good. Braun's looking good, and this JD, man, this kid is looking pretty damn good from what I've seen. All right, so you're going to go to Andre Chase. You're going to go to Chase University doing a promo. And they're going to bring out, Nathan Frazier. He's going to come out and ask if he can be a flag bearer. And they got Bodie in there. And I mean, it's a great little promo. And you think they're about to go to a commercial. And then they do. They've done other cartoon characters as wrestlers. And as Axiom. AXIOM, they do a promo for him. And it is a good promo. I can't say anything, anything bad like that, but the cartoon character aspect of it, maybe that's just me being old. But it's just not as impressive. But if it appeals to the gamers, which I would think that it would, I mean, hey, yeah, absolutely. But the promo was good, I can't say anything bad about that. They go back out, and Wade Barrett and Mr. Joseph do a little interviewing and beside the ring, and pretty much this, of course, everything is being set up for SummerSlam coming up in Nashville, and I was just in Nashville, and the town looked pretty excited, but Mr. Chase. Andre Chase, that is going to fight, and I want to make sure I get this right, but Giovanni Vinci. Okay, good looking guy, looks got the looks for the part, seems to be very athletic, and seems to be, his timing is good, everything seems to be good, his placement of his kicks, everything looked to be good, and that Mr. Chase is good. I mean, it is just waiting for the right time and the right thing, and he could be called up. So the match is a good match, I think it helped Chase help his top recruiting class in America there. But towards the end of this match, Mr. Vinci does a bridge up, an old school bridge up. His back is to the mat, and Chase is on top of him. And he does a bridge up to where they do a move out of that. And that is old school. And for these guys with that size, that was pretty freaking impressive. So the match goes on. You get a little bit of interference. And Mr. Vinci wins the match. And I believe there were 5 matches tonight, and some, and that's what NXT is set up for. They want some in-ring time, but they want the interview time, the mic time, the time with the stick. They need people to find out who's going to be the deer in the headlight, when it comes down to it. So, they did what they needed to do tonight for sure on that. But the Chase is just one rider, a new rider coming into WWE that could figure out how to use him. His mic, everything is good. But then they go into a promo after that match, which is pretty much the Diamond Mine. Which, all right, let's think about this. Diamond Mine, you got the Creed brothers. Braun. You've got Rick Steiner's son. not using the Steiner name, so, but it's a Steiner. And when I look at the Creed brothers, I think of the Steiner brothers on steroids, and I did not mean that they're on steroids. I meant they're just a 2KO or the 2.0 version. Man, they're good. They are good, but they're diamonds in the rough, you know. But before they go to that, they do have an Indy Hartwell match against Arana Grace, the beauty pageant queen. And I can see that apparently she must be doing pretty good because they're giving her that mic time. And Indy Hartwell, they've been working her for a while. They were using her in the tag teams and everything, and they had the run with her and her husband, boyfriend, Psycho Dexter Killer. But she's still in the storyline. So if something happens and you get out of one storyline and they directly put you into another, you are talented. So they have the match. It's a good match. And Indy wins, but they go directly into Von Wagner. And Von Wagner is going to he's doing his promo. And look, I got to give a little inside info on Von Miller. He's not an NFL player, but Von Wagner. Now, Von Wagner actually comes from a wrestling family. His father was a wrestler. Now, he was not a what you would call a main eventer, but he was a mid-card guy, and he was good enough to make a living at it. And but I had written down something on Mr. Wagner, but on the dates and everything. But they've got Solo Seaki, or they've got Uso, not number one. They're building up that rivalry, and I could see the street fight, and they did good. They had Von Wagner, jump on him last week or whatever it was, and whoop him. So, and then claim that he was the street fighting champion. So that should do pretty good. But yeah, now here it is. I've got it on Von Wagner. He actually played tight end for University of Central Florida, and my Memphis Tigers play in that same conference. So, and it's the same conference that brought us Umos. So, or Omos, or however the hell you want to say it, or if he's standing in front of you, however he tells you to say it. But he was a tight end from 2012 to 2016. His dad, Wayne Bloom, was known as the sports agent. So Cal Bloom is his real name. But Von Wagner is a big, bad 6'8" son of a gun that they're going to build up into something without a doubt. But when they go into this last match of Tony T and the boys, with Del Toro and everybody, and the Creed brothers and Strong, and so they had the angle with Strong kind of being a little jealous of the Creeds. So you remember that a few weeks ago. Well, what ends up happening in this freaking match? Strong nails a knee to one of the Creed brothers, and then what the hell happens? The Creeds get pinned. Alright, that's a pretty big deal. I mean, Tony D, it makes his guys just look like freaking, anything you could ask. So I do think the match went well, but the knee strike on the Creed brothers was definitely, of course, allows Tony D to hit his move, and it goes from there. But this being a rookie show, my first show, and Tony they did win, and they get to holler at the guys, and they do all that. But one thing I did not, being an old school guy, one thing I did not mention it with Indy Hartwell earlier. They brought out Ariana Grace, and she's a Hall of Famer in the WWE, and she was actually the first woman to ever throw a title other than the Fabulous Moolah that I've seen in my life into the trash. So I apologize that I overlooked that part of my notes. They did have her come out and do a quick little a synopsis of saying pretty much that she wouldn't, when she threw the belt away, it took years to get it back. So they're having a tag team tournament, a women's tag team a four-way match. And Toxic Attraction comes out and pretty much says, you should just give us the belts. And they let the Hall of Famer walk away. And she still looks good for her age there, so I apologize for not getting that in, but that is going to be the first NXT review. I'm going to go back and listen, see how bad I screwed up, and I'll try to make it better next time. But nobody's perfect. We'll see how it goes. But guys, I hope with this heat wave going across the country, I hope you either have air or have a place to cool down. Stay cool, guys. Stay cool. And this is Memphis Mark. Rescue if you can. Spay and neuter. And as always, I'm out.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.